You know, President Bola Tinubu's 4 tax reform bills sent to the National Assembly about 2 months ago for consideration has passed the second reading at the Senate. For the records, they are the Joint Revenue Board of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2024, the Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Bill 2024, the Nigeria Tax Administration Bill 2024, and the Nigeria Tax Bill 2024. Recall that the executive bills were sponsored by Senate Leader Okpeyemi Bamidele during plenary on Thursday, I beg your pardon. So after the debate on the general principles of the bills, the Red Chamber read them for the second time before referring the bills to the Committee of Finance and pushing them for further legislative action. Let's share the story with you. Let's go.
Brief on the general principles of the tax reform bills at its previous sitting, the leader of the Senate spearheads the debate for second reading. Lawmakers largely expressed unanimous support during their contributions, with the exception of Senator Ali Ndume, who voiced reservations about the matter.
The current arrangement, unlike what is proposed, unduly favors the most industrialized states in Nigeria, to the detriment of states where such goods and services are actually consumed, but are not lucky to host the headquarters of these service and good suppliers.
And there's also a move to remove the people at the lowest level in terms of their salaries and so on, to exempt them completely from taxation. These are good things in this bill that should be encouraged.
That the bill should be withdrawn, make some necessary amendments, and then bring it back, and we can pass it in 24 hours.
And traditional rulers are free to come and ventilate their opinion as to the pros and the cons of the bill before the public hearing, so that our committee will now look at the various submissions, aggregate it, and then bring it for clause-by-clause consideration.
The Senate has erected its Committee on Finance to conduct a public hearing involving all stakeholders and those who have reservations with the bill.
We will give these bills all the necessary legislative processes it requires, such as public hearing. We will call for memoranda from all sectors. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, regional groupings, we will call for memoranda. And then at the end of the day, we will do a retreat with experts.
The specifics will be looked into whenever we go for the public hearing. We'll get the experts, we'll get the traditional institution, we'll get our governors and all other stakeholders concerned to make their input.
After the debate, the bill scaled second reading and has been referred to the Committee on Finance with a 6-week deadline to return with its report. In another development, the Senate also held a special valedictory session for the former president of the Senate, Senator Joseph Wires. TVC News.
Yeah, Charles Biko, you know, when a bill goes through a healthy debate like that, it gives you joy. You know, that's something. Okay.
But again, I personally believe that even in as much as it is desirable for bills to be debated so that we can add other things and also enrich, as I said earlier. But for me, sometimes some of the senators, they do seem to me as people who are ill-educated. Yes. Because the way they take these things, miseducated. Because first, but let's also establish this fact that the bills are not new bills. That's what they call it's a reform. Reform. You are reforming what is already existing. What does it mean to reform? It's to strengthen it, to bring it from how it was to the current realities on ground. Mm-hmm. So I expected them to look at it, but some of the senators, I'm surprised to see them and then bringing regional sentiments. Oh, traditional rulers will have to look at it. I wonder what a traditional ruler, for instance, I'm not discountenancing the fact that they also matter in things. But again, when you look at this economy, so what are the benefits? We ought to look at what are the benefits of these things. When you look at it, how can Nigeria as a whole benefit from it? And the bill also seeks to reduce the burden upon the everyday people.
Yes.
So what is wrong with that?
That is my problem.
Yeah.
What is wrong with that when you say people should pay less?
Those who, I agree with Senator Shehu Sani, that a lot of the people making this unnecessary noise about the bill have not even read it.
They've not even read the bill.
These are lazy people who are not prepared to read anything. For many Nigerians, once a piece of literature is more than 3 pages.
Yes. Well,
they are not prepared to read it. Some are not even prepared to read 1 page. You see even on Facebook, they post a comment. They will not read to the end before commenting. They will just read maybe the first few lines.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got to
flyer. The date was somebody what date? What is there?
I mean, you'll be asking you. They want everybody. They want people to do everything for them.
That's intellectual laziness among
if you come as Ndume has done to say the bill is dead on arrival.
How could you, without looking at even the...
It's dead on arrival. And it has passed second reading. Nobody is saying, go ahead, just pass the bill. What is going to be done is, let everybody be able to make inputs.
That's it.
You can't dismiss a bill that you have not even read thoroughly.
Yeah.
I was listening to Senator Seriake now saying that this is a bill that seeks to take away the burden
upon the taxation
on the poorest of the poor.
And then even the manufacturers and all that.
How can any sensible person be against such a bill?
What he also said, come on. You see, when okay, for instance, if you place a heavy burden upon even the manufacturers, what do? They transfer it to the everyday people, which of course the bill seeks to understand, to look at even the plight of the poorest of the poor. But people, that's why I said even this intellectual laziness and
the people are not prepared to read. It's just notion. There's this notion that this is what it stands for.
Then we now begin to say
you have not subjected that to investigation of your own. No,
Babajide, see,
you've not checked.
How could you be talking about taxation for a hawker? So how will it benefit the north? And then the south and the east.
That is what is wrong.
So this the north, the east. What?
Let me read what Shehu Sani has said, and no one can say that is more northern than Shehu Sani.
Okay.
He put his life on the line for the democracy that we enjoy.
That's it.
I remember when in my office at Junction Road then, Shehu Sani and the current governor, Obasani, were the people who are always found available to do interviews, to speak for
people. Yes,
today, people who never spoke for our people, they are the ones enjoying the democracy. Some of them have been in the National Assembly for donkey years.
I mean, this is what
Shehu Sani is saying, that the bill, it is in fact economically beneficial and fair to all parts. People should keep aside sentiments and read the bill carefully.
Yeah.
It is a comprehensive and bold move to harmonize and simplify tax administration and streamlines its operations and enforcement. The bill will actually generate and safeguard more revenue to the states. It will also combat the corruption and the so-called tax waivers granted to business cabals. There is nowhere in the document where any region will be shortchanged, or taxes will be increased, or jobs will be lost. Because I had one of these senators say, "Oh, our people are not ready for fresh taxes."
It's not. I said it's a reform. That's why I use the word reform.
Because he didn't bother to read.
Reform.
You know what somebody told me? I was in London and a guy that I met, a random Nigerian guy that I met, said, "See, my problem is, even here I fight our people the way they put down their country. We believe that nothing good
is coming out of Nigeria.
And by extension, the government in power. But if we seek to bring Nigeria down, the hurt will be shared. That is what you don't know because you have little education.
The image battery.
You are damaging your own country. You can tell people, alert people to the problems that we have in our country. But to say people should not come and invest in Nigeria is borderline stupidity. You cannot do that.
It's like a murder pronouncement.
Investment is like a gamble. People take the plunge, they invest. Some make it, some don't make it.
But
there are people doing well in this same economy.
No, but how about when you have a preponderance of Indian investors? How are they making it? They are pouring in here. We were with the
some of them have been here for 30, 40 years.
We were the Consul General of Indian High Commission in Lagos. He was even at an event we organized yesterday. The man is, if you reeled out the number of people who are still trying to point to Nigeria.
Yes.
So what
is the same Nigeria that some people will open their mouths and be denigrating? Some of you who are benefited
do we have challenges
from us.
Yes. Do we have challenges? Yes, but
don't discourage people from coming. You see, when people, I know we'll soon go on break. When people come to invest here, they create jobs.
Not for their nationals.
Not just for their nationals alone, because some of their nationals.
Somebody will come again as technical.
Our own people
hands
will be the biggest beneficiaries. Yeah. So when you open your mouth and you say, "Don't come to Nigeria,"
then you are shortchanging us. That's what it means.
Nigeria. Something is eminently wrong with you. You cannot do that. Let those who want to come and invest. I always tell this story that when it was time to come and invest in the telecom business in Nigeria, it was MTN that took the plunge.
A known Nigerian brand.
I'm just even talking about South Africa now. MTN is not the market leader in South Africa. Vodacom is Vodacom was reluctant to come here because they had stories that in Nigeria they are so poor. They won't be able to talk for long. They didn't know that Nigeria, when I call you and he happens to be beside you, give it
Jones
to
Jones.
Make I talk to her. John Jones, it goes to someone else. A mother will call his son
family
in the UK.
Yes.
It will go around everybody where people talk a lot.
Yes, always talk.
We talk a lot.
And as we're talking, we are making money.
So, others don't talk like us.
Come to think of
it. We are a different people.
Vodacom you are talking about used
later
to
came.
Now come. Now I'm going there.
Later came.
Now wait. Now they now came when they realized that they made a big mistake. They now came here. But all of those management troubles,
with that brand,
at the time, ensure that they didn't last. But they are the market leaders in South Africa. So sometimes
you need to take a risk.
Yes, you take a risk. They say heaven favors the daring. Fortune favors the daring. If you don't take that plunge, you may never know what is
exactly. You can even change the
Stop discouraging people. If you don't want to invest in Nigeria, that's your problem. Don't discourage people from coming to invest in Nigeria. And you see the intellectual laziness of refusing to read for having an opinion on something that you have not read.
When I was going to marry an Ika girl from Abo, don't marry Abo, but I'm married Abo now and I'm enjoying the marriage.
Your beard is
and nobody has gone to court. Okay, gentlemen. Thankfully, gentlemen, the bill has passed second reading.
Yes, sir.
And we are saying, okay, we are not even passing it at this stage. Let people be able to make inputs. You look at the students' loan thing. That student loan, do you know how many times they had to rejig it? You know, the encumbrances to students accessing the loan, they took away some of those encumbrances. Like the matter of who can guarantee you, for example. They had to take those things out.
In case you don't have, and you qualify.
So when a bill goes to the National Assembly, no one is saying, pass it.
The way it is.
And you cannot say it's dead on arrival. How can you say it's dead on arrival? You be God.
But you see, the thing is that what people should understand...
Dead on arrival when they've not finished work.
Particularly the viewers.
Does it look like something dead on arrival now? Now, so something where they dead on arrival they be. Now, look at the comments. Look at some of the positive comments. You never read something.
And besides, which country on the planet does not rejig its tax?
See, the thing is that, when you come...
You see, I agree that Nigeria doesn't need new taxes. People like Undume thought that, okay, this is to create new taxes. Can you beat that?
Which is what I said, they are in existence.
You see, it's not meant to create new taxes. It's to strengthen
the
collection framework.
Yes, exactly. Their existing.
I always say, Ambode did not come up with new taxes in Lagos.
Okay.
He only improved upon the efficiency of collection.
And the enforcement too was also, yes, efficiency of collection, that's it.
So that the leakages will deal with those leakages. They are talking about what Sheikh Sani is happy about is even these unnecessary waivers where they give.
But
you do know how much money Nigeria is using to that? A lot of money.
A lot of money. Tax holidays, tax this, tax
that. In government, they will say, okay.
Oh, the waivers.
No, now. So let the National Assembly members do
scrutinize,
a decent
improve,
work. Improve upon this. Yes. Don't give the feeling that we cannot perfect what we have. We can improve upon what we have.
At least the impression is being removed that this is another.
No, but if you, what you also look at, what is a bill? A bill is an idea of what you want things to be like. Then you present it to those charged with the responsibility of doing the law. They look at it.
Charles, a bill can only be passed after it has been gone through scrutiny.
Clause section 2, section 3. No, remove this one. Why don't you paraphrase it? The English paraphrase it, but the way it's looking at it is ambiguous. Okay, strengthen the statement so that it can be read and understood.
And be more definitive.
Exactly, more definitive. That's a big.
All right, sorry, gentlemen. Time is the master here, so we'll go to our next story.